As promised, here I am, not in a dark driving car in the middle of downtown LA, but we will be getting back to more of that. But hello, everybody. I don't know what this is named, but maybe it's clickbaity, and maybe there's a whole bunch of Turks and Azeris watching this because they're infuriated and they came to troll me. Welcome to Sovereign Artsakh. If I didn't clickbait title this, then hello, everybody that's already watching that's already used to watching. Hello, all my friends out there and my regulars. I should make a list of names and just call you out. But I want to go over several things. You're going to notice this is just one camera angle, but I want to go over several things. I don't want this to be super long, but I'm already babbling on. So let's just get to it. First of all, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't clicked that, if that subscribe button down there is still red, it means you haven't subscribed, so subscribe. And then share it. Pass it on. I only have so much time and energy to share my videos with people. It's up to you guys. And the numbers are going up, so that's good. So thank you, but keep doing it. Also, click that like button and comment if you feel so inclined. All right, let's get to it. Now you're seeing behind the veil how I do this. Let's just put that right there. Welcome to Sovereign Artsakh. I'm not going to comment on anything political in our country right now, but there's crazy stuff going on. Let me start by saying I'm going to read this article. On Thursday, on December 10th, Ilham Aliyev gave a speech, and Erdogan was there, and this is all in Baku, the capital city of Azerbaijan, and we've had people commenting on that I should talk about this, and I had it in my list of things to talk about, and so I am doing it now when I can do it, higher production value than what I am normally doing right now. But before I read that, well, let me just tell you, I'm going to read this full article. I'm going to talk about something that happened right afterwards as a result, I would say, of that speech. I'm going to show you something about this map of Azerbaijan and Armenia that once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. But before all that, let's talk about share. Now, before I started researching the Armenian genocide 3 years ago, because I am publishing the English translation of the Sogolman Tellerian memoir, which I stumbled across, got the rights to, have been working with Sogolman Tellerian's family and with historians, Turkish historians, Armenian historians, American, German, Jewish historians. I've been working with, but in particular with Turkish Armenian historians, learning the truth about the genocide. In all of this discovery, I didn't know Cher was Armenian. I remember growing up with Sonny and Cher. All right, Sonny and Cher was a TV show that was on my house whenever it was on, and so I Got You, Babe is deep in my soul. I got you, babe, and so. But she is not Cher. She is Sherilyn Sarkisian. So she posted, I guess it was on Twitter, nobody stood next to first Christian nation because all we have is history and culture. Cher, let me just read it. It's real short. World famous American pop singer of Armenian origin, Sheryl Sarkisian, has made a post on Twitter on Armenia stating that nobody stood next to the first Christian nation because all we have is history and culture. Dark day for Christianity. Nobody stood next to the first Christian nation because all they have is history and culture, and that's not something we can export. Thanks, humanity. Basically, she's saying people only come to the aid of those who have something to offer in return. Oil. Something of strategic military bases, strategically positioned geography. Armenia is this tiny little nation with no resources, and all we have is culture and history. Well, that's all that matters to me is culture and history. And I think people's eyes are going to be opening. I'm going to do everything I can to open people's eyes. That's the whole point of this. And I won't go into the details of how, but she's speaking truth here. And I love that she mentions First Christian Nation, Dark Day for Christianity. That should open some people's eyes. What's Cher talking about? Dark Day for Christianity? That in itself should open eyes and make waves. What Why is Cher talking about Christianity in a dark day? Because Christianity is under attack. Period. If Armenia is under attack, Christianity is under attack. All right. Thank you, Cher. I'd like to meet you someday. Maybe I will. We'll see. All right. Let's get to this article. Aliyev Erdogan posed explicit genocidal threat against Armenians, says human rights defender. All right. Let's read. During a military parade Thursday, Baku, Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev proclaimed that Zanzibar, Lake Sevan, and Yerevan are historical lands of Azerbaijan. Sorry, that strikes me as hilarious. This is like really good comedy writing. This guy, this is amazing. Aliyev, he's just a great stand-up comic. Zanzibar, Lake Sevan, and Yerevan are historical lands of Azerbaijan. Okay, historical lands means you have an ancient history, right? Azerbaijan was born in 1918. So it's like there's no such thing as a historical land of Azerbaijan. At the same event, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan glorified the masterminds and perpetrators of the Armenian genocide, as well as the mass atrocities against Armenians committed in Baku in September 1918. The two leaders continued their vitriol and hatred toward the Armenian people, threatening the life, safety, and well-being of the entire population of Armenia. In a previous episode, a couple days ago, I mentioned Erdogan's tweet in praise of Enver Pasha, one of the three pashas who were the heads of, or primarily responsible for the Armenian genocide. Erdogan likens himself to one of them. So in other words, he loves genocide of Armenians. And I also want to mention here mass atrocities against Armenians committed in Baku in September 1918. In the Soghomon Tehlirian memoir, he was supposed to be in Baku in 1918, but he had been injured in battle in the retreat from his hometown, Erzincan. In the retreat, they retreated all the way back, and he got injured and sent out of the battlefield and was recovering in Russia, while his platoon, he was part of the Fedayeen, the most incredible Armenian fighters, the Fedayeen, his closest comrades were killed in Baku. So he should have died or would have died if he hadn't been injured. Armenia's Human Rights Defender's Office assessed the speeches and confirmed that the statements and expressions of hatred and hostility voiced by the Azerbaijani and Turkish presidents were the same used by Azerbaijani soldiers during this war, while cruelly torturing, killing, or degrading Armenian prisoners of war and captive civilians with excessive cynicism and humiliation. Over the years, these types of statements have formed the institutional propaganda in Azerbaijan aimed at disseminating and inciting hatred and hostility against Armenians based on their ethnicity. We're supposed to be against racism in this country. Why is nobody paying attention to this? Endorsing explicit impunity and supporting all of this at the highest official level, Armenian human rights defender Armen Tatoyan said. From September to November 2020, the war crimes and crimes against humanity committed by Azerbaijani military forces have been beyond any human imagination by their sheer volume and level of their cruelty. These have been actions which require additional scientific research to understand the depths of cruelty a human being is capable of, the ombudsman said. Yeah, he's a human rights guy. It's hard to grasp how a civilized human can treat other humans this way. The Turkish president, in his speech full of hatred and threats against the Armenian people, mentioned that today is the day of glorification of the souls of Ahmed Javad Pasha, Nuri Pasha, Enver Pasha, and members of the Caucasus Islamic Army. It is an established fact that these people are the young Turks who have organized and committed the Armenian genocide. That included brutal killings, torture, and rape, Tatoyan stated. Of those, Enver Pasha is in particular, during the years of the Armenian genocide, was among the organizers of the atrocities in his position as the military minister of the Ottoman Empire, 1913 to 1918. Javad Bey organized and committed all genocidal actions during the First World War in his position as Constantinople's, now Istanbul's, city commandant and the member of Turkish State Special Organization, Teşkilat Mashum. The special organizations were the most brutal of the killers, based on the ideology of pan-Tyrannism. That's the Hitler-esque racial superiority. For Hitler, it was the Aryan nation. For the Young Turks, it was the Turkish ethnicity, serving in the rank of Major General. Moreover, these individuals, in particular, Nuri Pasha, who was Enver Pasha's brother, as part of the Caucasus Islamic Army, took part in the mass atrocities of September 1918 committed against Armenians in Baku. These atrocities were also accompanied by torture and rape, he added. Glorifying these individuals by the Turkish president and doing it in a public speech made during a military parade displays explicit genocidal intent. The aim of this speech is undoubtedly to inflict more hatred, the human rights defender stressed. All of this is augmented by the blunt and false statements blaming Armenians for destruction of Azerbaijani or Turkish religious sites or heritage, he said. These speeches are direct threats aimed at life and health of all Armenians, Armenia's civilian population. They are an explicit expression of terrorism, which are absolutely prohibited by international law. The aforementioned speeches also affirm Azerbaijan's genocidal policy applied through methods of ethnic cleansing and terrorism during this war. The ombudsman said, the human rights defender of Armenia call upon the international community to react and take substantive preventive measures with regard to these issues which are in breach of fundamental principles of international law and undermine the entire international system of human rights and humanitarian protection. Yeah, this is bad news, these guys giving these speeches. This is just Thursday. This is just 2 days ago from the recording of this. And then yesterday, what happened? Azerbaijan resumes attacks in the direction of 2 settlements of Artsakh. So their commanders at the top give a speech, a military parade, say, kill Armenians, glorify the massacre, the ethnic cleansing, and the wiping out, the extinguishing of an ethnic minority. And then the next day, this fight that's been solved by Russia, no, they started attacks again. Nothing big, no big flare-up, but it's demonstrates what I've been saying. This war is not over. In fact, it's barely just begun. The world needs to pay attention. All right, so they're saying over here in Baku is the parade, and they're saying that these places, Lake Sivan, right here, Yerevan, that these are ancient Azerbaijani historical lands. That's what struck my funny bone, hit it square on the funny bone. It's just amusing and hilarious, yet terrifying and evil. It would only be funny if he was really joking. All right, so let me show you something about this map. You'll never unsee this. And when I first saw this map, when the countries were separated by colors, this stood out to me. And once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. All right, so Azerbaijan is in the orange, Armenia is in the dark gray, and Nagorno-Karabakh is in the pale blue or light purple or whatever that is. When I saw this, I said, oh my gosh, Azerbaijan is a monster trying to eat Armenia. Over here, Baku, that's the tail sticking off into a point there. Down here is one leg supporting itself. Over here is an arm wrapped underneath Armenia. Here's the thumb of the claw, and here's the claw gripping around the bottom of Armenia. Here's an eye, and here's a mouth, and it has already swallowed in their eyes. Nagorno-Karabakh is being digested on its way down into the stomach. And here's another arm up here. It's got its grip on the top of Armenia, and this leg is bracing itself, and it's consuming. Azerbaijan exists only to consume Armenia. This is the dog, the lapdog of Turkey. Here's Turkey, and there's their lapdog over there to finish the dirty work. Consume. Eat. Erdogan's throwing bones, throwing scraps to Azerbaijan, giving them whatever they need to do the dirty work to consume this Christian nation. Share this video. Spread the word. Christians need to know Christianity is under attack.